we are. Tonight's an interesting night. I'm in my childhood home right now, where I lived for probably 20 years, and my parents owned the house for about 30 years. Sold it. They moved. They moved 2 days ago. Closing is on Monday, so I told them that I would be spending a night here by myself, in that interim period. Say goodbye to the house, or what have you. So I've been here about 15-20 minutes, and it's already far more intensive an experience than I was prepared for. I had a small anxiety attack, or a large one, when I walked in, and I had like a strong response of, get the fuck out of here, what are you doing, go home, go to the bar Saturday night, what are you doing? And it just seemed natural to immediately explore the house. It's completely empty, there's nothing in here at all, no furniture, no nothing. And it was like clobbering me over the head with every room that I went in. So I'm going to do a little journey through the place and talk about some memories that I have in those rooms, and try to shake this net of like depression, or I don't even know what it is that's tightening around my head, because this is more than I signed up for. It's like everything I turn around and look at has a meaning, little things do. But let's take a walk. So I always think of this room as my brother's room, which is not entirely accurate and kind of weird, because he only had this room for a couple years. I mean, me and him shared a room our whole lives. There's only 2 bedrooms in the house. I have 1 sibling. So most of my life, or most of the time this house has been occupied by my family, this is my parents' room. This is by far the smaller of the 2 bedrooms. So they gave me and my brother the bigger one, which I guess was pretty nice. But then once I moved out, my brother was still here a few more years, and they switched, and my brother moved into the small room. My parents took the big one and, hooked it up and bought new furniture, new bed and stuff. So that's what I think of. I think of, in the last 5 years or so, a couple times that, no one would be here and I would sleep in my brother's bed. Like my parents were on vacation one year, and he was on vacation at the same time separately, and this is where I would sleep. Although I guess I slept in there on other times too. This room was it's so small. I mean, it's got to be 12 by 15 or something, so with the bed in it, if you have a king-size bed, there's just enough room to walk around it and have like a dresser. And yeah, this is my whole life. This is my parents' room. That's what I think of. I never really noticed like the color of the walls, or I don't know, maybe they painted this recently. I don't even know. I look in the closet, and it's a pretty small closet, and I think of my brother has so many clothes, and the closet was just fucking stuffed with clothes, and the door's fucked up. It's hard to close it right, and it just put on there ruggedly. It's open now, but when it's open, it goes to like a halfway position and sits because something's off kilter. And I guess in a lot of ways, this is the room I probably have the least amount of memories in. I never hung out in my parents' room. I don't think most people do. This was never my bedroom. It's just the smallest room in the house. So this, again, I think of this in my parents' room, though it was my brother and I's room much longer than it was theirs. But I guess it was so long ago that I actually lived here and lived in this room and shared with my brother. It's a pretty big bedroom. When me and my brother were in here, we had always trundle beds or bunk beds. So the footprint of that was small. It left you with a lot of extra room. We had a really big desk that like my uncle got somehow for free, and I still don't even know how they got it up here. It was so big and heavy, and the staircase is so fucking tiny and narrow. We had the bunk beds here I can think of, and dressers there. We had a big fish tank on top of the dressers. I remember right when I moved out, and then my brother must have thrown a personal party because this became his room. He didn't have to share it anymore. And he got my parents' old TV. It was a tube TV. This was before flat screens. And I remember even I was kind of bugged out, wow, TV in the bedroom, and a big one at that. It's pretty cool. I think this window, just recently my parents had like an easy chair in here, and the dog had a good enough, or has a good enough sense of direction that if you would leave, he would know you're going out the front, so he would run up the stairs to get a last look at you before you left, and he would put his paws on the windowsill, and he could look down, and he would see you. So I think when I look at that window, I remember a couple years ago, me and my brother were running cable up here for cable TV when my parents were on vacation, and we drilled out this fucking gigantic hole in the windowsill to get the cable through. It's probably a stream of cold air coming through there right now. Closet over there is so small. Me and a friend who's a carpenter, we installed the bifold doors. That was just a summer ago or something. Again, when my parents were on vacation, did that for them. And I remember when me and my brother had the room, we had so much shit in the closet, tons of clothes, obviously, and other crap stacked up. And I remember when I moved out, or maybe when my brother moved out, and eventually the closet was empty for the first time in a million years, and there was fucking a shit ton of mold in there because two of the walls of the closet are outer walls of the house, and I don't know, it was not insulated right or whatever, but it was black mold that had to be fucking bleached off and paint the walls and everything. And it just how long was that in there? No one knew. I look at the bedroom door and I think of all these punk rock show posters that I had on front and back. We would go to shows and steal the posters for, well, I was going to say we would steal the posters for the show we went to because they didn't need them anymore, but we would just take future ones too if they were for cool bands that we liked. And in the back, I had a friend, or have a friend, he used to work for Office Max, and they had a real nice color copier, and he would bring in CD, the CD inserts, and throw them in the color copier and blow them up till they were 8-inch or something, and he gave me a bunch of them, and I just wallpapered the inside of the door with all these mid-90s, late 90s punk rock CD covers that were kind of blown up. Pretty cool. This carpeting's newer than when I lived in here. Again, the paint is stands out to me. Never noticed it when there's stuff in here. So this is the main bathroom. Well, I shouldn't say we, I didn't buy the house. My parents bought the house. There was only one bathroom, and it's crazy how I'm thinking back about how much different stuff was when we moved in. I don't even remember. I'm sure this bathroom was plenty tore down and horrible. That window's new, and obviously this sink and the vanity, the mirror, all this stuff is nice. But the thing that really trips me out, I'm so glad that we can actually see it. Hopefully, yeah, you could see that crazy patch right there. When we moved in here, oh, this is even better. You could see it there. This is there used to be a button in here, like right there. And when you would shut the door, it would press the button, it would turn the lights on in the bathroom. And then when you would open the door, the button would come out again and the lights would turn off. And that was just some really weird shit. I mean, this is obviously the original door. And I remember shortly, like after we moved in, it stopped working correctly. And we kept like a big pair of pliers in the bathroom so you could pull the fucking button out when you were done, because it wouldn't come out on its own. This is the bathroom that I've showered or shit in the most in my life. The one in the basement, you know, is nowhere near as old. That owl was never there. Well, that's the bathroom for you. I guess a minute and 45 seconds is enough to talk about that, about the shit room. So, let's move on, shall we? The door was up in this piece. Delivery. 16-inch Nick and Bruno special. Nope. Eric Williams. $24.10 Clark. C-L-A-R-K-E. That's in River Grove. House. 708-949-6244. Credit 4356-3200-0956-5726 0713. Yeah, put $4. Take your time and thank you so much. Bye-bye. So there we go. Nick and Bruno's delivers till 1 a.m. on my grand sandwich only does till midnight. I'm on my 4th beer now, and starting to feel it. Had a long talk with a good friend, and I feel a lot better. I've not ashamed to say that I've done a little bit of crying already tonight, a couple times, even on the phone, like a little girl, or like a man, depending on your perspective. I'm a crybaby. So, I feel better now because I've been anesthetized by alcohol. I'm going to set the camera up upstairs and try to capture this transaction on video and enjoy the rest of the night. I'm starting to feel really good. It's been a long day, but a good day. Took a really good nap before I got here, so I'm in it for the long haul, and I have 3 beers left and counting this one, including this one. Here we go. So here we are in the dining room. We're on the first floor now. Living room is just Jason to me, to my right. There's no light fixtures in the living room. You know, that was completely lit by lamps, so it's hard to get any footage in there. But dining room, here we are. It was rather small, like the first bedroom upstairs. Not very big to begin with. Actually, it's probably about the same size, about 12 by 15. And once you throw a bed or a table, in this case, in the middle of it, you got almost no room to even get through, which you do have to get through to go downstairs or the kitchen. I don't know. I mean, I guess obviously biggest memories in this room are biggest memories in a dining room are dining. I think of a couple holidays. One recently where we overloaded it a little bit with, you know, relatives and whatnot in a house not well suited to having a bunch of guests, but we crammed them in and just doing big eats. I think of a million times, you know, coming over here in the evening, during the week, you know, either because I had to, like, you know, drop something off or pick something up or talk to my mom or my dad, and then I would hang out for a while, and my mom would undoubtedly ask me, "Did you eat?" To which my answer would often be, "Yes, I did, but I'll eat again." And you know, as the definition of any good cook goes, it's not about some shit that you plan and prepare a recipe, like use the ingredients on hand to create something, and I think my mom is the best at that. And a million times that I would sit right here. It was odd because we had placed the dining room table, even though I didn't live here. You know, it was only valid when I was visiting. So, you know, normally my dad would be like my dad, my mom, my brother, me. I think that's correct. But usually when I would be by myself in these situations I just described, I'd be the only one eating, so I would sit in my dad's place. I mean, I don't know why, maybe just because it was the most accessible from the living room, or I could holler back to my dad sitting there. And, you know, that's what I think of, sitting at the table, eating my second dinner of the night by myself, you know, like 7 o'clock. So, like every other room, it looks empty with nothing in it. There was 2 pictures up here in the windowsill, which you can't see, but one of them was a picture of me and my brother at 3 Floyds, and that picture was framed and had been sitting there forever. I have a copy of it, and it's gone now. You know, well, it's probably set up somewhere in a new house, but I miss it right now. So here we are in the kitchen. I guess they call this a galley kitchen. I guess because it's like a boat. I mean, it's basically a hallway. And like where I live in my condo, it's ironic that the places that have the smallest kitchens end up doing the most amount of cooking in them. You know, the new house my parents moved into makes sense on a lot of levels, and one of them is definitely the most enormous kitchen, for me, I mean, obviously there's bigger kitchens in the world than like a fucking mansion, but there's, you know, little counter space in here, and obviously you gotta store some shit on the counter. You can't have them bearing, you know, so when there's small counter space and then stuff stored there, it's cut in half. Memory I have of being here is times when I would be staying here, house sitting and dog sitting when my parents would be on vacation. I'd have to get up, you know, earlier than usual, feed the dog, take him out, and then, as opposed to my normal everyday life where I eat breakfast at my desk, I've been eating granola and yogurt every single day for years. But when I would stay here, I would eat like bacon and eggs, toast every single day. And I would just like cook the bacon and eggs in the same pan, cook the bacon until it rendered, and then cook the eggs in the fat and get the toast going. Brew coffee, coffee maker was right here. Coffee was stored in this cabinet. They put this sink in not too long ago. It's like super dope sink, like, you know, it's got to be 12 inches deep, and with the crazy head that, you know, it's got it all. They put all stainless steel stuff in here not too long ago. The fridge, the stove, the dishwasher, the microwave, and the fancy sink. These things were probably, you know, what helped get a buyer quickly. It's a good selling point for me. I see my mom even left some plants here for the new owners. I hope they let them grow. I remember when years ago, this is about around 2000, we gutted it. My grandfather, who's gone now, he was like taking control of that and gutting it out, so we had no kitchen for a long time. And I remember my grandma, she kind of volunteered to do it. She was bringing me gigantic freezer bags of cooked pasta, and I was just like, you know, sauteing vegetables and mixing it in and using jar sauce. And I was like eating pasta every day for some reason at that time. And we had the refrigerator downstairs temporarily. There's like the vent over the microwave right there. My mom like accidentally cracked part of it off, and I super glued it back together, and I had no faith that it would hold it all, but it did. There's a key rack, magnetic, right there. And my mom left. She bought me one, and mine is hooked up. My keys are on it at home right now. And this is it, the tiny galley kitchen. Here we go, Nick and Bruno's just pulled up. Guys, rolling in the Chevy Lumina. I haven't made those in a couple years. With my How are you?
Good. Get a copy.
Oh, you need to see it again?
Yeah, I got a basically get a copy.
Okay.
Okay, dig the pizza, dig the pizza. We'll come back.
It's downstairs, 1 minute.
Yeah, okay, man. Thank you. Sign this one, okay?
Sign this one.
Yeah, copy, yeah, thank you.
There, you got this.
Right this way. So I should.
There you go.
Thank you. No, just about one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I'll see you back.
Have a good night.
Goodbye. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning already. There we go. Only Nick and Bruno's, they like to actually swipe the card by scraping the carbon copy over the numbers. We're good to go. So here we are, 2 a.m., drunk, full, done doing my emotional crying and everything, and being upset, and it's time to just sleep. So, wake up in the morning and say goodbye to this place. And then that's it. That's all she wrote. See you in the morning.